Our first long drive westward came with the news that Highway 1 was actually closed. Now in England, this kind of thing might add 10 minutes to your journey, but here we had to divert round an entire mountain range to cross over the border into British Columbia to the small town of Golden.
Look at those sweeping fields.
In 250 kilometres of driving, we only had one right turn to do, and when we reached it, we still missed it, and I was most sympathetic.
The roundabout onto British Columbia 95.
Look, someone and his dog on a surfboard.
Only in Golden.
After a spot of lunch in downtown Golden, we drove a little bit further up the highway before breaking off the main road up into the hills for our first night's stay at the Hedberg Peak Guest Suites, where we were greeted by our friendly host Rhonda, her two very excitable dogs, and a welcome party of white-tailed deer. The Hedberg Peak Guest House Suites was made up of the entire basement level of Rhonda's house, and she managed very well, I thought, to find the perfect balance between being very helpful and welcoming and friendly, but also keeping a distance so that you could enjoy your holiday in peace. And in the morning, not only had she left us a spare can of bear spray, but also some handwritten notes of interesting things to do, some touristy bits in town, and hiking trails to go on with little hand-drawn maps, which would come in very useful later that afternoon, but this morning we had other plans.
Ready to go. It's also misty. Oh, look over there.
We'd booked a tour at the Rocky Mountain Buffalo Sanctuary, another amazing gift. And whilst the website was able to take our booking, Rhonda told us she thought the place had closed for the season, so we went down to check it out.
Tour's closed, sign on this side. I think it might be closed. It's good news. I can see people being given a talk. I think a tour is happening. I think we just might be 5 minutes late.
It was in fact the last tour of the season, and Leo Downey, a former Californian musician who made the logical career jump into buffalo ranching in Canada, gave us this really cool talk on his herd of buffalo, how he looks after them, and the history of the local Native Americans in the area.
They're full grown at 12 or 13. They live to they're about 25 average. This is a winter hide from a 4-year-old. That's Chester Jr. when he was 7. He's 10 now. This is Chester Jr. when he's 3. He'll be full grown at 12 or 13. So both females and males have horns. This is a 3-year-old female. That's a 3-year-old bull. And a bull's horns will be curled in fully when he's 12 or 13. That's Chester Sr.'s head up there. Walking coyote found 16 buffalo in a valley near the ranch. Somehow he got them back to the ranch. They raised them till they had 350. And then they sold them to the Canadian government, which was the start of Parks Canada. Buffalo hate to be handled and separated, and there's a saying, you can herd buffalo wherever they want to go. Today there's about 600,000 buffalo. They aren't endangered anymore. They're doing great, actually. Of those 600,000, maybe 40,000 or so are basically wild in big parks, and the rest are on ranches. This is the wool that they shed in the spring. They shed this beautiful, really high quality wool. The bull always has a mane like a lion. If a black bear comes out of the forest and they see it, you know, to the fence, and they see it, they're like, maybe just go back and eat. They don't. I've seen them not care at all. But if it's a grizzly bear, they really don't like it. The bull will chase away a grizzly bear. He'll fight anything that attacks the herd. But let's go walk out and find him. This has become the head cow just recently, but your head cow isn't always your guard cow. So I wait till she stops before I back up. So now she's become the head cow. This is the second cow. My head cow until a couple of months ago, she is 22 years old. She was the head cow. She had a perfect set of horns. And 2 months ago, she broke both of her horns off. That's extremely unusual. I don't know how she did it.
As soon as we got down to the paddock, all of the cows came running over to be fed, but Leo knows the big crowd pleaser is his prize bull, Chester Jr. So he kept banging his bucket and calling for Chester.
Let's see this cow. They get. Come on, Chester.
Is it just the bulls you give names to?
Just that one bull is the only one that has a name.
It's the only one you've ever given a name to.
Actually, in the beginning, I had 2 cows that I named, but it's hard enough when they...
You get too attached.
Yeah, I get very attached to my bull, but I get attached to the cows too. I know them their whole life.
Yeah, you scare them off.
Come on, Chester.
Come on, Chester. Whoa, hello. Hey, kitty. You can do it.
I can't believe I have a genuine opportunity to say this, but meanwhile, back at the ranch, Leo was showing us some traditional fire starting techniques.
It's called a bow drill because you use a bow to spin a drill into a board like that, and it produces coal dust that accumulates in that chamber there. And you drop that onto some fluff. This is cattail down, and it smolders in this fluff until it gets big enough to ignite into a flame. This tinder, it's cedar bark, and you call that tinder. An organism called a mollusk eats the hole out of the rock, and it makes a great top piece for your drill because it doesn't wear out. There's not a lot of friction. They'd find a stone like that and they'd have it in their fire kit. So I'll spin it, it'll start to smoke. Then I have to push down with enough force to create this dark coal dust. Blow on it, starts to get bigger, and then it'll ignite into a flame. And you just take long, kind of even, long breaths. It is. Yeah, see? So I see it only takes a couple of minutes. Just get a pretty good hold of them because sometimes they try to jump out of your hands, but you'll calm down once you.
Do you want him?
With me?
Ranchi the cat was getting a bit jealous, but she definitely knew the right person to get some attention from. After a quick lunch back at the homestead, we decided to take a little leaf out of Rhonda's yellow notepad and go for the 3.5-hour hike along the Blaeberry River to the Thompson Falls.
Reached a fork in the road. Right or left? Which way do we go? Down the hill. And lastly, I just wanted to give you a quick tour of the suites.
The guest houses are the entire basement level of the property, but there are 3, I think, bedrooms, which means you could be sharing the communal kitchen with other groups. As it happens, we were the only ones booked for that weekend, so we were lucky enough to have the place to ourselves, hence the mess everywhere. Each bedroom has its own private ensuite bathroom, which was all beautifully clean, of course. The kitchen had everything you need to cook for yourselves for however long you're staying there. And honestly, we had the best time staying here. It's super peaceful staying in the countryside. Rhonda and her husband are of course just upstairs should you need them for anything, but they keep well out of your way to enjoy your holiday. But they did help us with the fire pit last night, getting that going so we could have a wonderful peaceful night under the stars, so thank you for that. But now it was time to hit the road again and head ever westward to the town of Kelowna.
So I've put in a place in Revelstoke where we can stop for lunch.
Okay.
It's about 2 hours. Lovely little house in the mountains. We love it.
Bye, Rhonda.
For a pleasure.
Please don't think we were rude by leaving without saying bye, but we're just presuming you're not in. We should have left a note.
I know. Well, I've sent her a really nice message.
I have.
Yeah.
Bye, mountains. Bye, little wooden
Good
shack.
country.
Didn't see a bear though.
No.
I'm upset by the lack of bear. Now, look out for traffic.
I was just about to pull out left, like it wasn't.
You have pulled out left.
No,
Oh, like on the
not
English
across the
side.
road.